In the last like 8 years, I have put a lot of YouTube advice out into this world. And it's all important, but there's definitely some that's a little bit more important than others if you're looking to grow on the platform. So if you were my BFF and I only had like a coffee chat to give you my best possible YouTube advice, this is what I would say. Oh, wait, I'm hosting like a town hall-y workshop situation next week where I'm gonna give like the full state of the union on the creator economy. Like, where are we? Where are we going? And then how can you plan your full-time creatorness? Like, how can you get there in the current creator economy? Plus, we will do a live Q&A, which is always super freaking fun because you get to ask whatever questions you've got. So come hang out with me. It's free and it'll always be a good time. To sign up, go to heyjessica.com/creators and I'll see you there. But for now, let me get back to my best advice. And you read my number one piece of advice if you read the title of this video. And that is, if they don't click, they don't watch. I think sometimes we get all hung up in all of these analytics, right? Like the average view duration and the, drop off points and the, all of the things that go into like hardcore analytics. And I could teach you all of those things. And I do teach all of those things in my YouTube course. However, the most important metric, in my opinion, but I think it's a pretty informed opinion, is CTR. In other words, how many people are clicking your video? Because if they don't click, they don't watch. And none of those other analytics can even happen if they don't watch. So CTR is your click-through rate. Okay, so click-through rate is important when we're talking about people clicking. And there's 3 things that contribute to your click-through rate or your CTR. And that is your title, your thumbnail, and your topic. And a lot of people think that like topic and title are the same thing, but they're so not. They're so not. Because yes, you want your title to be like SEO friendly and you want all of these things, but you want your topic to be applicable to people watching, right? And so your title could be great, your thumbnail could be great, and your topic is garbage. Or the other way around. Your topic is amazing, your thumbnail is great, but your title is garbage. We need all of these 3 things to kind of work together to get the CTR that we need to get people to actually freaking click. Now, for my particular niche where like I'm sitting down, I'm teaching, I'm talking, I'm doing the things, I really want like a 5% CTR or better. Honestly, better is better. Always better is better. But in other niches, you might want a 20% CTR. You might be shooting for 30% CTR because different niches have different kind of standards. But for me, with the talking head, with the business, with the talking to the creator, like whatever this kind of channel is, 5% is kind of what my minimum is, and I hope to go up from there. And you can actually go into your analytics really easily and see your CTR rate. It's actually in the first snapshot that you get for a video's analytics, either on your phone or on your computer. So pretty easy to see. You can also drill down and kind of see what the CTR looks like throughout time and start to kind of get any patterns. So if you're looking at your channel and your CTR rate is low, that's likely what's leading to your channel not doing super well, because if they don't click, they don't watch. So first, you need a topic that people actually care about. And unfortunately, that's not all topics. I could go out here and create a video on anything, but if there's only like 10 people in the whole world who actually care about it, it's probably not gonna do well, If I go out here and I create a video that's very, very niched down and very, very specific, and a lot of people don't actually care about that, it's not going to go very far. Now, I don't mean that niching way down is bad, but niching too far down is definitely bad. So you have to pick a topic that people actually care about, that there's actually a decent amount of people who want to learn about that thing from you out there. And this is a conversation that I get in a lot with a lot of people. So if I'm talking about accounting to business owners, for instance, that is a group of people that's like this big, right? If I'm talking about business strategy, that's a group of people like this big, because more people are going to be interested in business strategy than just very specific like accounting for small business or whatever. And that's okay, but you have to understand that if you're talking to those smaller groups, your numbers are always going to be smaller. You're never going to have a channel with 1 million subscribers or 10 million subscribers or whatever if you're talking to a very small group of people who actually cares. So find a topic that people actually care about. Every YouTube video is different, but if you can find a topic that attracts new viewers, attracts your diehard viewers, and attracts casual viewers, you have landed on something that's like golden. And they're gonna click that even if the title and the thumbnail aren't doing their job perfectly. But y'all, the title and the thumbnail are so freaking important. If you are not creating titles that are clickable, oh my gosh, the amount of times that I do channel audits for either people in my programs or people just that submit a request for me to do a channel audit or whatever, and I have to tell them like, stop keyword stuffing your title, is a lot, okay? So keyword stuffing basically means that, like, let's say I want to be found by like stay-at-home moms, I want to be found for homesteading, and I want to be found for homeschooling, okay? So instead of titling my video something that's clickable, I'm gonna say like homesteading, separator, homeschooling, separator, stay-at-home mom, day in the life. And like, that's not clickable. That's not getting people to go, oh yes, I'd like to click that video. That is quite literally just keyword stuffing things into the algorithm, and you don't want to do that. You can keyword stuff in your description and in your tags, but in your title, it needs to be clickable. It can also, and probably should also, have your keywords, but it needs to be freaking clickable. So for instance, I could have just titled this video, My Best YouTube Advice, right? But that's pretty generic, vanilla, like very like, meh, who's gonna click on that, you know? So instead, I took out a common saying that I use, but also something that feels like it's something that people would attach themselves to. And I said, if they don't click, they don't watch. My best YouTube advice. So that makes it clickable and keyword heavy. I know I bring up Peter McKinnon more than I should on this channel, but just this morning, I don't know, Insta360 something or another. Let me go look. The Insta360 X5 came out. And I knew an Insta360 was coming out because I kept seeing a bunch of teaser videos and like whatever. But all of these people that I follow that are like camera gurus, and by the way, all men. I'm gonna have to disrupt that industry a little bit. But anyway, that's not really the point. The point is, all of these people released a video this morning about this Insta360 X5 or whatever. And Peter McKinnon's title is, The New Insta360 X5 is a Load of Bull. Okay? Now, the reason he said that, and then his thumbnail goes with that, and we'll talk about that in a second, is because he used bull riding and bronc riding as a way to test this camera out. So the thumbnail has a bull in it, and it has like a circle, and it's like a different thumbnail than you would expect from like a camera review. And so you are sitting there as a viewer like, what does that mean? Does it mean he doesn't like it? Or is it just a pun? By the way, it was just a pun. But like, I need to watch that. That's freaking clickable. That is way more clickable than a title that was like, the new and Insta360 X5 has awesome features. You know, like that, it's so much more clickable. Make your titles clickable. And then the last part of this, like CTR, if they don't click, they don't watch, is your thumbnail. A lot of people take thumbnails as an afterthought, and they're like, oh, well, I'll just create a thumbnail when I'm done. It'll just be my face. It'll just be this thing. It'll just be a still shot. No, you should be planning your thumbnails. You should be saying, what is going to get the most clicks for this topic? How can my thumbnail work with my title to make people want to click? How can I add interest to my thumbnail to make people say, ooh, that combined with the title, yes, I will click on that. How can I make my thumbnail stand out from other people? So using that Insta360 example again, a lot of the creators who released videos on it did a really good job of making it a little bit different. But like, Peter Lindgren here has one that's like, did it fix my complaints? And it's just him and the camera, right? Which is what you would expect from a camera review. But then you've got David Manning, who's skiing with it. And you've got Maddie Hapoya, who's in front of a helicopter, possibly skiing with it. And then you've got Peter McKinnon with a bull. Then you've got Casey Neistat with the camera in his mouth. You know, so these thumbnails are just different. They're going to stand out. They're going to make people want to click. Honestly, the biggest hack is just good content. So I know this sounds possibly fluffy and possibly like, I don't know what the hell you mean, Jessica, explain it. So I'm going to try and explain it. But creating good content is the only hack that you need. A lot of people try and like hack their way to YouTube success. Oh my gosh. So I was at a middle school career fair the other day, and I go every year, and it's one of my favorite things that I do because the kids love them a YouTuber, you know? And I feel like it's less cool and less cool every year I go because they're used to it. Like my kids are that age now, and so they know that like so-and-so's mom is a YouTuber, you know, and things like that. But anyways, always super fun. So I'm there the other day, and this little boy walks up to me and he's like, "Oh, are you a YouTuber?" Because I had my play button and some cameras out and stuff. And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, that's amazing. I'm a YouTuber too." And I was like, "That's so great. What is your channel about?" And I honestly forget, but he told me about what his channel was about. And then he was like, "You should subscribe. And then you need to go on your channel and tell everybody to subscribe." No. And I will tell a middle schooler no all day long because it's just not good advice and it's not a good strategy. I think a lot of people think they can hack their way to success on YouTube. Like, oh, if that one person just shouted me out, or if that one person saw me and knew about me and told other people about me, or if I got this like one thing, or can I like go share it on this particular like Reddit thread and that Reddit thread is going to blow it up. These things might happen eventually, occasionally, and, you know, on a rare situation. But for the most part, the only hack to growth is good content. You have to earn the right to people's eyeballs. And if you're putting out subpar content, if you're putting out content that's like, it's okay, or like it's just there to hold a filler space, or I've heard it before, or you're not somehow like making content that's good for these people, they're not going to watch. So they might click, but then they're definitely not going to watch. So creating good content is the cheat code. And when you're like, "Oh my God, Jessica, what do you mean?" Well, what is good content? Well, it's subjective, right? And I get that. But there's also some things that we can do or we can talk about that make it a little bit more objective. No matter what camera you're filming with, film with the highest level quality possible. Our phones have 4K capabilities now. Like, do that. That's going to be good quality, right? Use a good mic, use good lighting. That's going to be good quality. But as far as like good topical content, good content that is good content, as far as like the actual substance of the content, you have to be a student of the platform. You have to be watching other people's videos and be like, "Oh, I liked that one better than that one. Why? What did this person do that this person over here didn't do? And how can I like bring that into my own?" You know, creating content that's not like cookie cutter. That's not just the same as everybody else who did the content. That's not the same as every other video that's ever been done on that thing. Content that's actually fun, entertaining, informative, or, you know, in some way captivating to watch. That's good content. And if you're just putting content out on the platform to, let's say, get views and like sell your thing and like, you know, whatever, okay, cool. But people are going to be able to read that like a freaking book. That is what I did. And that is what happened to my channel. That is why I grew really fast for a little while. And then people were like, "She's talking about the same damn thing all the time." Yeah, because I was. So creating good content, creating content that actually gets people wanting to come back or new people wanting to click. Oh, I forgot to turn my light on back here. Oopsie. Anyway, last but not least, is to find your differentiator. What makes you different? How are you going to stand out? Why will people want to watch you versus the hundreds of other people possibly that do what you do or create content like you create? You've got to find that. Is it your personality? Is it the way you storytell? Is it the quality of your content? Is it the way you explain things? Is it your accent? Is it your gender? Is it your look? Is it the way you dress? Like, what is your differentiator? How are you standing out and being different? Because if you're not standing out and being different, well, I mean, you're not going to stand out and be different, right? Like, if you don't stand out, you're not going to get clicks. And if you don't get clicks, you don't get watched. It all comes back to that. So like for me, one of my differentiators is the fact that I can explain things pretty easily. Like, I'm not going way above your head. I'm not going way down here to where it's like super elementary, but I'm pretty decent at explaining things. And I didn't really know that about myself until I started YouTube, and people would be like, "Oh my God, I've watched 8 videos about this and you explained it better than anybody else," or like something clicked. So that's something that is a differentiator of mine, because I can put out videos about a similar topic to somebody else, and I can hopefully help people understand it and see it a little bit better than other people. My accent is a differentiator. Y'all know that I have talked about this 1,000 times before, but I thought my accent was the thing that was going to cause me not to be successful. And the reason I thought that, like every time I tell the story, people are like, why? Because I was told that. Like, we had teachers in high school and in college who were like, don't talk like this. If you ever want to be successful in TV or radio or like whatever, don't talk like this. And I actually even had clients at a certain point in my web design business. I had this one particular client. It was right around the time that I started like showing myself more. And I had this client and she was like, you just said that wrong. Like, I don't remember what it was, but I said some kind of like phrase incorrectly. So probably something like, I couldn't care less. I probably said I could care less, or like whatever. So it was something like that. And she was like, you said that wrong. Maybe you should like learn how to talk. Literally. I don't know why I signed this woman as a client. It ended up being a disaster because she thought I was stupid. But now, and ever since I kind of started the online space situation, my accent is a thing, especially that people really attach themselves to. It's what makes me different. It's what makes me stand out from 5 other people that are talking about the same topics. I talked a second ago about how all of these camera reviews that I'm seeing, all of this like Insta360 stuff is by dudes. It's a sausage fest. And I said, oh, I'm going to have to interrupt that a little bit. Being a woman in a male-dominated industry could be what sets you apart, or vice versa. It could be that I'm really good at storytelling. I'm really good at putting together a really beautiful piece of art when it comes to my videos, and people love to watch that even if they don't care about the topic. It could be that I'm like good at using analogies, or I'm really good at helping people see, other people's point of view. Like, I could have so many differentiators. It's not even funny. I could film every one of my videos in the barn. I could live in New York City. Like, things that you may not think are differentiators usually are differentiators, and you've got to figure out what that is. So remember, if they don't click, they don't watch, and that is absolute number one importance. And if you're ready to hear about like the State of the Union address that's not belligerent and you can actually understand it from a creator perspective, and like teaching you about the creator things, and you want to know where the creator economy is going and if it's a thing you should tap into or what you should be doing with it, I'm hosting a workshop. Don't forget, I told you about that earlier. You can go to heyjessica.com/creators with an S and sign up, because it's free. And I'm going to talk to you all about where we are, where we're going, and how you can plan like your path to being a full-time creator, because that's the goal. At least that's my goal. And hopefully if it's your goal too, this workshop will help you. heyjessica.com/creators. And I also put that in the link in the description too. And before you leave, if you want to tell me in the comments, I would love to hear what is the most impactful piece of YouTube advice you've ever gotten. Like maybe somebody told you something arbitrary, but you were like, oh my God, that really stuck. Because sometimes if people like stick with random things. So what is the coolest piece or like most impactful piece of advice you've gotten? I'd love to hear it in the comments below. And until next time, bye.